grand scheme of things, it should be pretty fun. All that being said, we've got good news. We've got the series to kick you all off, and an Ancient is going to be your first map.
Okay, Trav, let's sink our teeth into Ancients. As we know, Metizport have played both Ancients and Vertigo recently with Plopsky in the mix. That was against Eyeballers. So at least they've got some reps on the opening maps. It's not like they're going to be figuring out positions and roles off the fly, right? They've got a bit of an understanding of how things are going to work. BetBoom T-side starts, and they're headed in towards B.
Looking forward to this game. This should be the pick of the quarterfinals. Metizport versus BetBoom, and B is the battleground to start off this series. ZTR and Plopsky are both here. ZTR's trying to get an angle with that smoke, but already Plopsky's been run down, and that might be a tone setter for this series. Magnoyes on an entry with 2 immediate headshots, and that puts this retake for Adam B, ZTR, and Jaquinho in a bit of trouble.
Oh, it's going to be a difficult one, that's for sure. No kit, no utility either. They're just running into a grinder, man. Crossfires aplenty. Good luck breaking them down as Jaquinho gets broken open. And BetBoom, a bit of a statement pistol round win coming through from them with how they move into that B bomb site and they just blow things wide open. Magnosias with a triple kill in the pistol, 2 from Siren. Siren was actually a name we didn't really mention in the pregame, right? I think he was someone who was earmarked by Nafany when this project got going. And it's not like Siren was a super established prospect at all. Of course, he was part of the Spirit main team, and when Spirit decided to make the changes, bringing Donk, Zontix, and Artfrost to the main team, he received the boot, and Nafany saw something. He said, brother, come join me in this part of the world, and he's looking to try and polish up that diamond, I reckon.
Yeah, I mentioned him as a very stable rifler that, at least in my eyes, as the brawl comes into a Jaguar, nicely eaten up by Nafany and Magno. Yeah, someone who can really be an important player on the team is just a reliable insurance policy. So, yeah, I've always liked him as a player. His numbers may not be, stunning like the likes of other star players in teams, but he doesn't have to be the star player, and that's what makes this team interesting. What makes me think that some, even if BetBoom, as we said, not on great form really at the moment in total. I think if you look at their recent results, they won't be entirely happy. Pro League wasn't a massive success for them. As Cole mentioned in the pre-game, they kind of tailed off very quickly after that fast start in Sydney. They haven't really had a repeat of that ever since. So, yeah, we'll have to see. The individuals are fantastic. Zorta and Magno especially are probably my 2 picks of the bunch on this team.
Yeah.
But let's see how they pan out in the future, as it looks like Metizport have to be ready for an A play here.
They're not very well poised to deal with it. Nilo at range is looking to just try and maintain some sort of tabs, and he will spot a player on the cross. Unfortunately, can't connect on the instant headshot. That means they will relinquish control. What little control they had, Nilo's going to rotate across to Temple, but only to be dispatched off by Zorte. Okay, that is a round over, because ZTR are still on the opposite side of the map. Plopsky and Jaquinho have got no business in attempting the retake here. So they're just going to have to accept their fate, I reckon. BetBoom go up 3-0.
This is exactly the kind of start you would hope. First gun round. They already have the AWP in the first gun round, but technically it does feel like a bit of a bonus on occasion, doesn't it? And they've dealt with it really nicely. Nafany will manage to switch to the M4. Hasn't got a helmet, but that's fine.
I do want to go back to what you were saying about BetBoom. Of course, they have made one roster change where they replaced Danists with Magnosias,
Yes.
of course, your favorite piece of this team. And I like that they haven't gone too heavy-handed with the changes. The rest of the team have been together for 9 months. And sure, the results have maybe been a little bit rocky, but I'd say in general they've been trending upwards. Have BetBoom maybe some stagnation in a few periods? And I think the one change they did make makes a lot of sense. It's not like they try to overhaul things or, they went for a tweak. Just try and elevate them that extra couple percentiles to, bridge the gap and make the difference. So
yeah,
I do like the way that BetBoom have gone about their business in the past 9 months. It does help when you've got a entire tournament organizer in the organization as well. Always guaranteed a couple lands a year, I guess.
Yeah, there's been conversation about that as well. To be fair, they wouldn't have gone to that Belgrade event if Cloud9 hadn't completely destroyed their roster. They would have been there instead. So just a replacement
for anyone who
invite.
doesn't know, is the BetBoom Dutch event, and that is a tournament organized by BetBoom, and they've invited BetBoom. I know, crazy. Who would have thought? You know what, Trav, in the current climate of Counter-Strike, it is just with the trend of things.
Yeah, what can you do?
It is normal to kind of have that exactly. They're basically a partner team of their own org.
Yeah, in a way.
Guaranteed invites and all.
Oh, that's nice from Zorta. Nice timing on that peak on Plopsky. Now only 2 M4s to find. We'll boost up again to go for it. Once again, slightly later round. It's on a different angle. Look at that nade over the top. It hit Nilo and ZTR both down to 54 HP before Zorta found the frag. Nilo will at least manage to get one back. Should I be saying Nilo or Nilo, by the way? Which one do you usually go for?
Man, I've heard both variations as equal as each other. I'm going to go with Nilo.
Okay. Nilo, then I'll stick with you on that one. Nilo sounds like it could be more of a double E, you know? But obviously
That's
in
exactly
Sweden...
what I was thinking as well.
In Swedish, who knows? Like I've heard it pronounced in Swedish, I just never know what's right because I hear it multiple different ways.
We were having this discussion the other day about whether you pronounce someone's name natively from an English perspective or from their country, right? And the perfect example is Boombla. Good old Boombla.
Of course.
But you don't see anyone going around calling him Boombla because it's well known it's Boomich. But there's a lot of other players out there as well who have some, interesting pronunciations in their name that you wouldn't say normally as an English speaker, but we don't know all these things, Trav. So
Same goes for Magno, right? I've been calling him Magno just to, sit on the fence rather than not pronounce the Jez, the Yez, the Magno Ye. I know it's like, is it mayonnaise? It's supposed to be mayonnaise in Russian, is that right?
No ways.
Is that what it means?
Are you serious?
I think that I heard that. Yeah, I think it's supposed to mean mayonnaise in his native language. Pretty sure. Could be wrong. Someone can confirm in chat.
I hope you're wrong. Please, can you be wrong?
I'm pretty sure I'm right, actually.
Oh, alright. Wouldn't be the first time, Trav. You do tend to be more often than not. Either way, Nilo is looking to try and force his way into the round. He doesn't want to just play A anchor any longer and then just get smoked off and can't do anything about it. Now, crowbarred his way into middle and his teammates have been able to follow suit.
Yeah, crowbarred is definitely a way to describe it. That was by force, without a doubt. Zorta, incredibly fast on these situations. And Adam can't trade. Hang on a moment. 27 HP still to spare. 2 kills in the round, as we just saw. 5 in total so far. Yet to die is Zorta. He is being closed in upon by Plopsky. And this is going to be a very hard angle to pre-aim if you're the up. He's actually facing into the angle, Plopsky. If he held in the cubby, that should have been an instant frag. As it is, Zorta's ready for it. And now he's got a 1 versus 1 against his counterpart, Jaquinho. He goes for the rifle switch to give himself some more maneuverability, as he so should. But Zorta, I saw some great clutches from him in Pro League with the rifle and with the AWP. And now he's got exactly the right idea. Jaquinho is switching into the angle, but comes off of it at the last second. He still might be there on the right timing, though. Jaquinho's got himself onto the site. He's picked up a kit. He's got a full belt of utility. And Zorta's seen him, but now shows his presence. Wanted to try and hit the wall bang. The smoke, of course, is on that bomb, and he has to go for the Glock. Jaquinho's got the kit. Oh, and that is a feels bad man for Zorta. He did absolutely everything right, and he wasn't to know. He got timinged, of course, as Jaquinho crept out of cave.
Yeah, I think even the fact that he fires off a gamble shot there to try and get the wallbang kill on Jaquinho, that just gives Jaquinho the info, okay? Just gonna drop the smoke on the bomb here, stick the defuse with the kit. I thought Zorta might try and creep further forward and see if he could maybe find a gap between the pillar and the smoke, and then you'd see Jaquinho crossing into the smoke, but unfortunately that's just not the option, and it means Metizport are on the board. They always were supposed to be on the board with the way that round had started. It does get ridiculously close, and it means that BetBoom have an opportunity to reset the CT side here.
Yeah, 1 player left alive. Buy is still good, thankfully, but they're going to take an initiative pretty quickly off the back of this, and Chiron's been sent in. Oh, gets caught with his molly out, though, and with his pants down. Nilo will take that quick trade back in a 4 versus 4. Plopsky already in toward K, trying to play with that smoke. He's got Nilo's support on the corner of that second smoke on the right side of the site there. Nafany's just got himself into the cubby in time. Pretty sure he was not spotted, but it's still very likely he'll be cleared out. Siren's in the same position that Chiron was in. That maybe will go overlooked, and it will. He takes Adam, but a quick trade from Jaquinho, and now it's only down to Nafny. They still have not checked him in the cubby, though. He gets himself his one. But Zorta, with this AWP, once again, is stuck in the clutch. Again, a defuse is coming in a smoke, and it's not going to work out for him. The Glock's out, and he actually gets both kills. But Metizport win the round again. So they've won it, but look at their money. Sure, they can buy on Nilo, but they're going to have MP9s, FAMASs. This is great work from Zorta, despite losing those last 2 rounds.
It's true. At least Metizports are getting the points on the board, though. At least they get the round up, but it's going to be so tough to try and keep up with things here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's an M4 for Nilo. Wait, oh, I forgot. Nilo, that's the one. Either way, I thought Zorte probably had to go for the wallbang there to try and get the kill on the player defusing with his AWP, because if he had gone around with the Glock, there was never going to be any time. Maybe he was hoping they were faking the defuse to draw him out. Either way, at least maximum damage inflicted in a losing cause here for BetBoom. And now they will slow things down as they head back in towards mid, get control for a lack of resistance. They've got plenty of time to cook with here in the round as well.
Yeah, and still got plenty of money as well. Zota's still got 9.4 off the back of all that, of course, because they built up some good money early game. Pretty crazy that it's still in such a rough spot for Metizport. Probably the worst possible way you could win 2 rounds in a row, but it's the rounds that matter. It is the rounds that matter, and it keeps them in with a chance, despite BetBoom's advantage with the utility. And look at the positioning held here by Chiron. He'll get dinked up, though, and that's a really nice find from ZTR. And P9 still boosted up on the ledge as well. So BetBoom have lots to face here. In they go. Hard clear by Siren, but the nade comes through at exactly the right time. Adam's damage gets the frag, and a second on Nafany. This is nice for Metizport, and guess what? Role reversal on the most unlikely of them all. They win that round with all 5 players alive.
Yeah, double AWP setup as well here for them. Metizport, that's going to be a round that gets the ball rolling. That's going to allow for them to build up some momentum. Adam B sipping on that monster.
Is that the white? Yeah, that's the citrus one, right? The white one?
I don't know my monster flavors that well, to be honest with you.
And you know
I
me,
should
I
know
don't
them
drink,
better than you.
I don't drink Monster, but I know.
Listen, I've always been very speculative of gamers' tendencies to drink energy drinks, especially anything other than coffee. I don't know. I mean, first map of the series, you got a 3-hour series ahead of you potentially. Probably not a great idea to be having such a massive energy spike right now, but it's normal. It's normal in the gaming world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is needed. Sometimes it can spike you up when it's required, right?
Yeah, the problem is the come down later on. Then you have to have another one, and then, you know, you're a bit shakier. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned that Zorta had a lot of money left over. He's used that to keep BetBoom in with the buy in this round. 3 in a row for Metizport. Keeps the momentum going, as you so rightly said, despite some of those rounds being very tough for them. It keeps the confidence up, winning those close rounds where they could have gone either way. It sets them up a lot better now after winning that previous comfortably. Magnajez is teaming up with the rest of his mates in mid, and Zorta has once again found a pick. He's been superb, had Zorta, but they are going into Jaquinho. And I believe that was the bomb spotted as well. It was on the back of Chiron, and Jaquinho just dropped it. Nilo is here, good timing, but can't connect on Magnajez through the box. Oh no. 4 versus 3 for BetBoom. Just managed to get themselves into the site off the back of that 1 kill, and with the plant down, unless ZTR finds a kill right here in the next 5 seconds, and I think even if that is the case, we've already committed to the save. Double AWPs, Matt.
Yeah, they can be a problem when it comes to the retake, certainly a liability. You get caught off towards that A-bomb side. Just wondering where that second AWP would have been then. Because Nilo... Yeah, Plopsky would have had it over towards the B-bomb side, alright. Yeah, I guess it is one of those things. Jaquinho was there on A first. He gets a kill, but he just can't really do anything else. Forced back by the utility and then loses his teammates in the process. And with that, it means BetBoom deny Metizport leveling up the scoreline. And they put 2 rounds between themselves and their opponents, and make sure they keep Metizport in check.
Such nice timing on Zorta's swing so far today. As I said, 2 clutches that could have gone his way that didn't. But the frags he's finding is very, very nice so far. Of course, we've got kind of no idea what Cloud9's plans are going to be in the future. I've always touted Zorta as an option. I'm hearing
me too.
whispers of Clax being considered and
That's so weird.
Shalfie as well. Shalfie is a great call, but
Sure.
Clax, not so sure if he can be worth it at tier 1. We'll see. It's only rumours that we've seen written on Twitter by, people who are not exactly reliable, so that has to be a caveat we must mention.
Yeah, for sure. If you're looking at that 9 Pandas roster, it's got to be Dilladez, though. That'd be the first player I'd pick up from that team, that's for sure. Either way, Metizport with a job to do towards the safe bomb site. Once again, the rifler's been forced backwards through from Temple, and the other rifler's been forced back into Donut. The BetBoom have successfully taken control based off utility alone. There's a bit of a gap here for Adam to try and exploit. The problem is he doesn't connect on the shot instantly, so he's lost his life, and now we end up in one of those awkward situations again. How do they go about the retake with 2 AWPs? The answer is they can't, right?
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, the AWPs, it's the easiest gun in the game in many ways. It's 1 click, 1 bullet, 1 kill very often if you're holding a stock standard angle. But in these situations, BetBoom have realised that they can't really get them into the action. And weirdly, the AWPs have hindered them rather than helped them in these last 2 rounds.
My problem is that in both of these rounds, it's been the AWP who's on the A bomb site initially. And then both AWPs have stayed alive and they've lost A-side control. So it's not even like, both AWPs have been elsewhere and that's why they couldn't retake. Both times the AWP has been there and he's survived and they've lost the site. It's been difficult it's a difficult situation, but you probably have to try and do a bit more. Maybe get a bit more aggressive, take a bit more of a risk. Can't afford to just continue to save these double AWPs. It might even be a liability going forward, BetBoom might not even mind them keeping the double AWP because whenever they get side control, it's round over. They don't have to worry about the retake.
Yeah, exactly. And Anthony at the end of that round as well could have very easily, he kind of got himself into between the 2 AWPs saving, got Plopsky on his right and Jaquinio on his left. It was very close to maybe having an opportunity at taking both of them, but it's a good reaction from Plopsky with that AWP picked up and meant that both have been saved over once again on the back of Nilo now. How do they put this into play? How do they get them into the action? They've got utility to take control toward B, for example, get lane control, get some smokes down on the doors. But talking of the doors, Chiron manages to delete Adam straight through the corner. And even though Plopsky takes Magnajez, Chiron will still answer back. Thankfully, ZTR plays a little bit cheeky around that Jaguar position. Knew he couldn't swing too wide because he could easily go down in the back. So jiggles with it, takes the kill, and recovers a 3v3.
Yeah, plenty time left on this clock for the 3v3 to fester as well. And it's Siren who's just going to be locking down the backline right now. ZTR heading in that direction, just walks into Siren's crosshair. Doesn't have to do anything, then just peer in this direction. It's a smart reposition as well because it means his back is covered from the ledge. If someone jumps up there from the CT's perspective, Siren's not exposed, but he is now forced up by the molly. Yaquinho still has a job to do here to try and lock down the speed bomb site. Great work from him on the second kill. He even finds the third on Zorte as well. Yaquinho lighting up the server, and that's some great work coming through from him on the AWP.
We mentioned...
And look, they didn't keep the double.
Yeah, honestly, why not? Take the AK instead. They've got money now. There's no need to have it. So, yeah, I think it's the correct decision to make, without a doubt. I completely agree with you. This is a really nice play from Jaquinho, isolating every single door. That one on Nafany was a hard one to catch on the full swing, and then timings that one on Zorta really well. Zorta has been superb in this game so far, and Jaquinho has been good in his own right, but that's the first time we've seen Jaquinho pop off, and kind of mentioned to ourselves in the pre-game that we think Zorta might clear Jaquinho this game. But both of them playing very well, which is great to see for this series. It's promising for a close game and an exciting one at that as well. Plopsky is not being cleared. It's going to be the freest 2 kills of his life. Looking for 3, not going to happen. Siren takes that one, but Nilo, quick answer back. He takes Nafany nicely. And now he's got more work to do. Looking for another headshot, takes it, and then goes back into the cubby, swings wide for Zorta. Beautiful from Nilo once again.
Yeah, great work, man. That's why he's touted as such a good individual with such a bright future, is Mr. Nilo. And we've seen it in heaps here. Great work, man. Really solid multi-kill coming through from him to lock down the bomb site. There's just one round left in this half. It certainly has been a back and forth affair so far here on Ancient. It was BetBoom who came out the block swinging. Metizport with a couple narrow wins, but it's been even keel since then. And you know what? Metizports are fully locked in to level up the scoreline because of the weapons the T-side have to play with.
Absolutely. 6-6 would be superb for Metizport considering the start that BetBoom had to this game. They will be delighted with that. Damage done. Chiron on the Mac 10. That's a good catch on ZTR. There's a chance now to make their way in. Oh, Plopsky. This is whiffy. Somehow he's managed to stay alive and he's been bailed out by his two teammates. But that's caused so much movement in the CT defense that actually, I was going to say it's hindered them. But if Adam and Nilo are going to get their 2 kills anyway, then it doesn't matter. Adam will find Siren. I thought they would have put so much energy into helping Plopsky in the cubby there that it might have caught them off guard. But Jaquinho will find Chiron. The plant can be defused easily. And we do have our even 6-6 half.
Okay, well, Metizport, they had to really battle to be competitive in that first half, but they've got a leveled up scoreline now going into the T side. This is BetBoom's map as well, by the way. So,
yeah.
Actually, a very good showing coming through from Metizport there, winning 6 of the last 8 rounds in the half. Definitely does turn things around. And there were a number of important gunfights won here by BetBoom. The problem was how much damage they took in the process of winning those fights. So even though they had a pretty decent position to work with, they couldn't really capitalize on it. They got picked off very easily. Yeah. And that means we go into this pistol round with the scores tied up.
Close game we wanted. Will it stay this way over the course of the second half? We're about to find out. Ready, fast in toward Donut. Fast in toward A for Metizport. Siren has to strafe away. A lot of damage being taken, and the plant will come through for Metizport. So this is going to be a tough retake. Thankfully, Nafany does have that kit and smoke brought up.
Tough retake, Trav.
Can they get an interaction, though?
It's going to be a really tough retake. Yeah, sure, as you say, there's a kit and a smoke, but they've got 4 players trying to come out of Temple and then just Nafany from CT. That smoke is going to be really important. Where do they deploy it is the question. Is it on the bomb or is it towards Donut? There's actually a flank through CT as well. There we go. Nafany, smoke on the bomb with that kit. He's looking to just lock it in. Have they got it? Trav reckons they do. And oh man, with ease. Magnosia's a beautiful quad kill coming through from him. This guy does work in the pistol rounds. I think he got a triple kill in the first half pistol. And was it a quad kill? Yeah, another triple. A lot of kills from the youngster, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think it might have been a quad kill. Pretty sure. Covering the defuse and the smoke beautifully is Magnajez. And honestly, that's exactly the kind of play that you've seen from him so often. Clean with the headshots on the pistol. Instant taps. And as soon as I saw Nafany had the timing to get onto the bomb, I thought it would be absolutely fine. But hang on a moment, this is a full force buy and response, of course. And Metizport are hitting back. What a shot that is from Nilo. But unfortunately for Jaquinho, Zorta's still here. What a quick round this is. We're in a 1 versus 1, and it's 1 minute 30 on the clock, and Siren is going to win it out. Goodness gracious me, what a round.
You know what wins that round for BetBoom is just how swiftly they rotate, because it completely catches Metizport off guard. They're first of all not expecting Zorte to be floating around the bomb site itself, so he gets a kill for free, then gets traded. And then they're never expecting Siren to be long as well. They're wondering, what the hell, has BetBoom just stacked like 5 players on the side of the map from the beginning of the round? Metizport kept getting caught off guard by that extra player, so very good rotations out of BetBoom. I mean, that force buy was looking punchy from the T side, but unfortunately, it's all bark and no bite.
Woof. Felico for Metizport off the back of that. Great recovery from BetBoom. On a 1v1 for Siren to win. Sort of 1v1s that I said he can be reliable for. You want him to be your base reliable rifler and winning those situations, and he's done exactly that. The dances around that smoke pillar were pretty wild as well. It's interesting to see the UMP bought up as well by Metizport. We've been
It was ETR.
ZTR, yeah. We've been speaking down the UMP a little bit recently, but I've got this
With
eco.
good reason.
I've got this eco. I want to mention to you something that Elige said on the latest episode of Talking Counter. He said he liked the UMP recently because the spray control is really, really easy. You can just pull down and everything is going to go straight. Really easy recoil. I don't know if it's a 2-bullet headshot at really close range, but I feel like people melt. If they had head armor and you're forcing against Galils or an AK, I feel like they die really fast. If I'm going to rush, I prefer the MP9 or MAC-10, but if I'm going to work the round, I'll use the UMP. And that is a really interesting, detailed description that as soon as I saw someone buy up the UMP in my next cast, I wanted to mention to you, Matt, and see what you thought.
Well, my thought is good for the noobs, right? So if you're out there and you struggle to control the spray, then pick up the UMP. I mean, no jokes aside, it definitely does.
The best sprayer in North
edge.
America, Elige.
Yeah, I know. That's a good point. You got me there, Trav. You got me there. It just shows you it's all about efficiency. It doesn't matter how good you are at the game. It's all about the efficiency. And you know what? That is an important edge for the UMP. As for BetBoom, this is a bonus round for them, Trav. They've got 3 MP9s here and a couple M4s as well. And that's exactly why they're looking to try and get into the faces of their opponents.
Yeah, why not?
Have you bought the UMP since then, Trav? Have you put it to test?
No.
Okay. You should.
You wishing on my downfall right now, or?
No, not at all. I want to see you succeed, man. I want to see you out there farming with the UMP, doing it different, staying in your own lane.
I sold my UMP skin to a close friend, so that's the reason I don't equip anymore.
So do you not buy a gun that doesn't have a skin? You can't play vanilla.
That couldn't be me, brother. I'm sorry.
It could never be me.
Adam will molly out Donut. Siren is looking to try and trade this one. Zorta will drop us up. Molly forces him into the open, and he needs to step forward for this one, and he will. So Adam will go down. In comes the SMG. MP9 goes down for Magnajez, and now there's a great chance for Metizport to hit straight back. Milo's in a nice position, and he'll deal with Nafany's quick rotation. Now it's all going to be down to Chiron. It's a good first, and they were jiggling with that angle for a second that made me think he could get more. But ZTR found a way to find it. And while Siren may be here, and while he may have a kit, he only has 45 HP. And guess who's holding the angle? It's ZTR. Instant headshot. Metizport in the game on T-side.
Yeah, very important round there for them to win because it was against a couple SMGs, and you look at the scoreline as well, it would have been a damning round for them to lose, going down 10-6, no money. So they've kept themselves in the conversation, and if they win this round here, it's a whole lot more than just being in the conversation. They're actually going to find themselves in a pretty good position with some pressure on BetBoom. I think, should Plopsky be on fraud watch, Trav? We need Plopsky on fraud watch. I don't know. We can talk about that just now because there's a lot going on right here at the start of this round. Middle is the testing ground, and 1-4 trade is the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean, jokes are made, obviously, of course. When I think it was one of Mari's streams for Pro League the other day, where it was like, one person dies, fraud. One person gets a kill, goat. Just instant. That's the meme that analysts.
I feel like that is how we switch. In the scene, how Twitch chat does sway back and forth. Nafany, how's he got that second kill on Plopsky? Great awareness.
Oh, big frag coming in, and Jaquinho finds it. That gives them an idea back in this round. Even when the bomb dropped on the site, there's a whole minute to play with for Metizport to team up, get themselves into some good positions to possibly trade their way in. Of course, BetBoom have the bomb encircled, which is what makes it extra difficult. But it's the fact that Jaquinho is able to get that kill back at least gives them a glimmer of hope. Nafany doing a great job
good setup, though,
individually in this round. And yeah, with Magnajez keeping an eye on Cave, can come back and help toward Jaquinho. And as you saw, even if Magno went down there were trades instantly coming in to help. They weren't going to allow him to face one by one. And yeah, Nilo is out of there.
I don't know if he'll be afforded the save, though. Nafany's already looking to try lock him in, but oh man, Nilo has no problem in getting that kill to earn himself an AK for the next. When you look at the money for Metizport, there will be a few counts of round loss bonus behind them still, so should be enough to afford an investment here across the board. Yeah, they'll be okay. Problems really start to arise if they lose this next round, though, because they'll be down 11-7 with no cash in the bank. And just the reason I make that point about Plopsky, obviously it's tongue-in-cheek. Everybody knows how good he is, how much experience he has. And when you look at a team with Plopsky and you don't say, yeah, he's got to be the star player, right? You bring him into the team for his roles and his reliability and his experience and probably an extra voice in the team as well. But he's going to get scrutinized now because he's come into a team to replace a player who was doing his job well and was a big asset to the team. So there will be quite a lot of pressure on Plopsky here, I reckon, from the outside.
Quite possibly. Oh, Magna Jez almost got two. And the nade helps out for the second in the end. BetBoom, 10-7. Trying to streak clear. Metizport, this will be their last purchase. Oh, that's such a critical headshot from Jaquinho. I've got to say, he's been quite good today so far on the AWP or the rifle, but it may be in vain. Been hitting some important headshots. Back into a 3v3 at least this round now for the Swedes.
Yeah, at least this time. Bombs in their control and the numbers are even. Utility aplenty as well for Metizport to try and convert this. What is the call going to be from ZTR? Calling from the sidelines right now. They have Nilo on the opposite side of the map. Are they going to rotate in his direction? Do they try to use him as a late flank? They use him as a fake? Multiple options available, and it looks like they're going to just try and join up with him in towards mid and then make their way through Donut into A, which is absolutely the best option available to them right now as they start to get a move on.
Yep, 20 seconds. They're going to have to be sharpish about this one. Zorta.
Oh, the molly.
Oh, that molly, as you say. A lot of intel, but look how far back they are with 10 seconds. Is this even going to be possible? They're going to be walking straight into the mixer, and Chiron lines up all three of them. He's had a very quiet game so far as Chiron, but he's gifted 3 critical kills there.
Trav, they had a smoke on those 3 players in towards Donut. Chiron throws the molly front Donut, and they all just sit behind the molly, waiting patiently for it to extinguish, and then they start to push through. But the problem is the rotations have already come through thick and fast. So much time has been bought. Man, I think they should have just smoked the molly and just tried to push through it and trade their way forward, because they were never going to win the round by waiting it out there with the time left on the clock. So that's a bit of a mishap there from Metizport, I reckon.
Wouldn't disagree. Magno get himself another 2 kills to add to his tally. Nice clean 2 KD for him now. And Chiron and Nafany will clear up the last 2 very comfortably indeed. Money is bolstered, and they have 5 chances to close out their map pick.
5 chances indeed. Great form here from BetBoom on their CT side so far. They've only lost 1 round up until this point. It will be AKs and neutral across the board for Metizport, but have to win 5 in a row here to force overtime. It certainly is a tall order. Oh man, already util damage being done. They've lost their key player as well. Nilo's already been taken down, Adam B as well, and this is not going the way that Metizport would have hoped, Trav.
Yeah, they've pulled away. They've pulled away, BetBoom. They have pulled away. So you're saying there's a chance. It is still a 3 versus 3. It is still doable. Nafany, though, perfect line being held. Great switch around for 2. This is nice from Nafany. Some individual level coming out from him, which I'm really impressed by. However, Jaquinho has been pretty good individually as well. He'll get tagged up down to 69. But he's got Nafany on 17 and Zorta not exactly full health either to try and clean it out.
So
but
smart.
Nafany's pre-aims, as you say, calm as anything. And a quick smile on his face as well at the bottom of your picture. Great to see for BetBoom. And they'll close up that map pick 13-7. And we're going to eventually bring Cole in to have a quick chat about that.
It was actually very smart from Nafany because he got those original kills.
They obviously want an opportunity to bounce back, and, well, if they were able to close out a CCT, they just might.
Let's go. Vertigo! Hopefully, no one will be plunging down the 51 floors like we saw from Cirque that one horrible time this time around. Siren, Chiron, Nafany, Magnagez, and Zorta. Map 1 up already from Ancient. And Metizport have to find a way to answer back. On the CT side, they're starting CT on Vertigo. Jaquinho's got the utility and the kit. And actually, ZTR has some utility as well. They'd be expecting BetBoom to go for this sort of execute toward A and have some afterplant utility to fight back with.
That's one smoke that basically completes the wall there. The molly just to make sure that they can't exploit a gap that might arise on the side. So good efficient utility from BetBoom on the pistol. Bomb plant's going to come through. All 10 players alive. Metizport have to retake. As you mentioned already, they've got plenty utility to make the retake happen. So how do they go about it?
Yeah, having that second flash, of course, could be pretty impactful. They've already used that one smoke, so they're actually going to use it toward gap. And the second smoke will be toward that. Oh, I was going to say toward that double position, but maybe not just yet. Yes, it is, but absolute wipeout in what 1.5 seconds. Siren just gets 3 kills and deletes any possibility for Metizport right off the bat.
Yeah, great way for BetBoom to open up. I actually love the pistol run from them. I think Metizport thought BetBoom were faking. Because what BetBoom do is they creep all the way up to the bottom of ramp there by the box, and then they just charge their way forward, dump their utility, and keep pushing into A. Metizport think, oh, they're trying to sell the footsteps fake right now. They're trying to fake as though they're pushing up to A aggressively. So they're very late to the rotations on the CT side, and that means BetBoom can plant the bomb, get back to some decent post-plant positions. Now, though, they have to deal against the 4-spy, and it's a nice little play coming through from the CTs to innovate that opening kill.
Works out. Moving toward quad. Oh, and Chance maybe pushed their way up now. White box has been taken. That'll put Jaquinho under a lot of pressure, and just trying to stay alive would be his goal. With a brilliant swing on one. Nilo finds one of his own. Make that 2 before Zorta finds him. And suddenly, it is just Zorta left against ZTR and Adam B. Both with the MP9s, of course. The instant rebuttal from Metizport could be big here. They're going to go for a double swing, and in the end, you know, why not? You'd have had the second player to trade anyway, but ZTR, F1 race car peak, wins Metizport the round.
Yeah, that was really brave there from ZTR to just jump around the corner with the MP9 and get that kill onto Zorta. BetBoom never really able to gain any traction in that anti-4-spy round, just constantly wheel spinning, losing out the important gunfights, and never able to find the really important trades either. So they in turn will 4-spy here, but Metizport are on the board here on their map pick.
The 4-spy wars, Matthew, happens all too often. When is the economy going to have a bit of a change-up? Valve, are you listening? I know you're not, but please do it.
Yeah, well said.
Even if it's like... I feel like at this point, if there was a change to the economy, as long as it wasn't like absolutely abhorrently awful, it would be met with like universal praise, because a refresh to how it currently is at the moment, especially in MR12, would be really, really nice. And talking of things that are really nice, the boost for ZTR there is perfect.
Yeah, I think oh, I just lost my point completely. Scrap that one. It's gone with the wind trap.
Happens to the best of us, mate. Economy? Your opinion?
That was the one. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Got my memory already. I think the most obvious change is just remove the first counter round loss bonus and you start at $1,900 when you lose a round, and at that point you can tinker with it. Like you say, let's just make a change and let's just play it out and see what happens. We still got a while before the Shanghai Major, and we need a change before that Major. And with good timing as well. Not 10 days, Valve, not 12 days before the Major do we change the way the economy works. Let's do it around now and give teams some time to figure it out and tinker with the changes. So yeah, I do hope something is being cooked up at the moment by Valve. I mean, we've been calling it for it since the inception of CS2, really.
Yeah, seems like a lot of their focus right now is on the anti-cheat, and of course for good reason. But yeah, I think definitely something that should be considered in the future. We shall see. At least BetBoom get a plant in that round, and actually gives them consideration to buy up a little bit more. It looks like Siren, if I'm not mistaken, there has bought a hero Galil, but kept himself with $900 in the bank, dropped his Tech 9 to a teammate. It's not a bad plan, I suppose. You can still buy another Galil in the following round, if I'm not mistaken, for their proper investment.
Yeah. Good economic decisions being made, but they need to find kills because there were none of them to speak of in the previous round for BetBoom, even though they did fully force. Great work out of Metizport there to get through the round unscathed. Now they're going to have to lock down the defense towards the B-bomb site. Nafany's got the utility primed. Magno and Chiron are... I thought they were really struggling to get the boost going or deciding who was going to boost who, but eventually Magno will be in position. And there, the util will now reign in. So let's see if BetBoom can close the gap. Can they find a way to try and breach this defense? The flashes are really good to isolate Plopsky. Means that Nilo's not able to assist him at all. And in fact, they won't even allow for a bomb plant to come through. So that's a really resolute defense out of the CT side.
Here we go, Metizport. Something to work with here. Can they keep it going? And keep BetBoom away on their full gun round? As I said, Siren does have enough cash for that Galil and the bit of utility as well. I also do think, a small point, I think the Galil is very good, right? For the price, 1,800.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely something that maybe could try and stop the T-Stud a little bit from being so powerful on a few maps if that Galil is made a little bit more expensive once again. Again, just theory crafting. First bit of gap presence is from Chiron. Adam and ZTR playing this one together, but Jaquinho's taken Nafany in the meantime, as you can see there in the minimap. Next is in mid, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, would be. Adam B's hung around though, and his shoulder's been spotted by Chiron. That's why he decides to just go for the wide swing. He knows he can't afford to sit back and then get swung on. You've got to be proactive and take the initiative when you're stuck in that position, so good decision making from Adam B. Will bail him out of position. And earn even more of an advantage here for Metizport as BetBoom look to try and edge in towards the safe bomb site. Now, I feel like Nafany has always been a Vertigo enjoyer. You know, you go back to the Gambit days, I know it's a very long time ago, but it certainly was their best map at one point.
Oh. Easy for ZTR.
So, yeah, I just feel like BetBoom should have quite a lot to work with here on a map like Vertigo with Nafany at the helm.
That's what you would think, wouldn't you? And I'm completely on board with you about the idea of, you know, I mean, map has moved on in meta, of course, these days. But one of the teams, I think probably the 2 or 3 teams that adopted the map very early on, I think was Saw and Sinners. And of the teams that broke through from the teams that were early Vertigo enjoyers was Gambit Youngsters, which became Gambit. And yeah, I think a lot's been spoken about Nafany's style. There are things that, sadly, I feel like, from Cloud9, from Gambit/Cloud9 to now, that haven't really changed even now on BetBoom, which can sometimes be to their hindrance. And probably one of the criticisms that Nafany has had, of course, is that sometimes the default's a little bit too stock solid, a bit boring, you know. But again, that's only from the outside perspective. Who knows what they're drilling in the server and in the prac server especially. So yeah, I think Vertigo does lean to, in my eyes too, to be a Nafany map for sure. However, it has been a bit 50-50 for them in recent times.
Yeah, it feels like as time's gone on, it's just become more stale for the Nafany-led teams. As you say, maybe not enough evolution. Either way, should be a 5th round up here for Metizport. Not much trouble at all. They haven't really had any strife in these rounds they've been winning, right? It's been pretty easy pickings here for Metizport so far. Nafany will follow suit here as he goes down as well. And that's going to be a 6-1 scoreline. So Metizport are loving life as things stand right now here on the second map.
Exactly what we wanted to see from them. To extend the series a bit. Of course, it is the playoffs. There's no Swiss stage here with a second opportunity or third opportunity. This is for the title. It was Amcal, of course, who won the first CCT in 2024. Looking to try and find the second. BetBoom were the team that were comprehensively beaten out by Amcal in that final. BetBoom looking to try and find another grand final, and they could easily do it with shots like that. Chiron gets a lovely entry. He's been a bit quiet so far today, has Chiron. One important play on Ancient. That was about it, I would say. But ZTR has been really confident in going for these refaces on toward ramp. But off the back of it, we didn't see the kills come through for Magnajez, but it absolutely collapses off the back.
I mean, it was his first 2 kills of the map here, so very good time for him to activate. Despite the fact Metizport got the opening kill again, courtesy of ZTR towards ramp, it's not going to result in another round win, or it shouldn't. I mean, Eugenio has already accepted his fate. He'll carry the orb through. You look at the money for Metizport. Do you think there's a world in which he should just feel this one archer to maybe even inflict further damage? Is it worth it?
You know what? I criticised Headtrick for that earlier, not maybe going for something on T side when he had about 9,700 in the bank or something. I think it's different in this scenario. There's still, I think, a few more rounds left in the half. And I think with Adam's money, is again, gives you an idea of maybe he should go for it with the AWP as well. He's still got utility. He's got a kit too. I think Headtrick obviously wouldn't have had any of those extra bits and pieces. I think with just a few, purely due to the fact there are a few more rounds left in the half, I prefer the save. He might not actually even save it. He's almost, what I would say, borderline fortunate there to get away from Nafany. A couple of bullets after that bomb blast would have taken him down. Quite a lot of damage to Jaquinho, actually, that bomb blast. But he survives.
Yeah, not normally the map that you get worried on.
Yeah, true. Usually you can survive on the edge of the building on A, and on B, stairs is fine usually if you're full HP. But keep an eye on that Kevlar mat. I've seen that a couple of times already that I've spoken to you about.
Yeah, absolutely. Something we've seen haunt a couple players before, not paying enough attention to the damage done to their Kevlar. You stay alive a couple rounds. You've got to reinvest, Trap. You have to be aware of that. Either way, 5-2 BetBoom. Double up their round count. Still going to be a while before they're able to do any serious damage to that Metizport's economy as well. So, looking to try and fight their way back.
Nade that, of course, catches the girder and the flat part and the 90-degree angle part, so it goes straight down into the corner where the possibility of that boost will be on the railing. That is exactly what they're going to put in place now. Unfortunately, Plopsky is close, and there was a Molotov on Siren. I know he's not really in the action right toward this side of the map right now. There was a Molotov on Siren that could have possibly forced out that position. Not to be. At least Plopsky will go down. The instant trade. Actually, they have forced BetBoom away.
Yeah, I feel like BetBoom have been trying hard to condition that B bomb site here throughout their T side. They've been trying hard to breach the defense and force rotations. This time it's not where they're going to finish the round. Zorte's going to get run boosted past the angle, all by design. Perfectly played there. Lovely bit of innovation as Zorte takes down his opposite number. And that does indeed open up the save bomb site. Nafany going to lead the charge. Chiron's taking down the first responder. They know exactly where Nilo is as well. And that is going to be actually a lovely round out of BetBoom. Just the fake over towards B, the transition A into the run boost, into the activation. It was just all such a seamless transition from the T side.
Yeah, Nafany realised he could take space there immediately as well. Push forward, try and stop this save. He's a little bit slow on it, sadly, for his sake. But, yeah, easy understanding. That's unfortunate for ZTR. Chiron was only 18 HP and just looks away at the last second. So that's another gun that won't be saved. And Nilo is left to try and keep the only M4. He'll manage it. Karan doesn't know that he's in the same position.
Still amounts enough money, though. Yeah, they do, but the problem is it's going to be gun round after gun round here for BetBoom. There's not going to be any reprieve where they get to play against a half-buy or an eco. I wonder if there's any pressure on Yakinio since Nork became, well, he's not a free agent, but put up for transfer from Apex. Of course, he's the other Swedish AWP out there, the best Swedish AWPer at the moment. And yeah, I wonder if he would have been inclined to consider a full Swedish roster. You know, there has been some criticism around Yakinio lately, but it feels like he is trending upwards as well, so it would be a pretty tough call, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are certainly options. But I think Yakinio is not doing a terrible job whatsoever at the moment. He was, first time I think I cast in Metizport. I think it might have been an Elise Invitational game. A while ago now. But yeah, he had a number of really important individual clutch moments. Even with the rifle. Might not have exactly god tier numbers like you'd expect from some AWPers, perhaps, but he plays with the team really well and he understands what he has to do really well. And don't get me wrong, there are probably people that would be better suited, but he's doing his job to a decent enough level. People did sort of question it, didn't they, when they made the move, when they removed stuff?
Exactly.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. I'd say Yakinio has been improving, and he's done enough to sort of warrant his position in the team. They did take a risk bringing him into the project when they started things off, but he's proven to be a good asset as we do see a solid egg in towards the B-bomb side. Somehow ZTR will get a kill from that position, but Nafany has not just doubled down, but he's found a third. My goodness. Brilliant entry kills coming through there from the IGL. Where's the bomb, though? The bomb is still towards the bridge. It's underneath the ladder. There's 35 seconds, so time's not the problem. I mean, Metizport probably, you know, just looking to save their guns right now and wondering why has the bomb plant not come through yet.
There's a weird world in which this could still fall apart. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think probably not now, because Nafany has managed to pick the bomb up and go all the way back. As you can see, Yakinio was just waiting toward A anyway, as you say, probably planning to save. If maybe in a wild world they decided to go back toward A, he'd be in the perfect position. So yeah, I think they're fine now. That was a slight worry for a second, but yeah, I mean, Magnajez would be disappointed with himself. He wasn't able to move ZTR from the angle straight away, but at the end it didn't matter. Nafany just comes in second and deletes all three in quick succession. Really nice from BetBoom. As you say, there's still a lot of whittling down of that CT economy, but this is step 2 of that. And there might only be one of those steps remaining.
Yeah, I'm just actually very impressed by how BetBoom have been able to turn things around in this first half, because it was actually looking very stagnant from them and uninspiring in the first like 5 or 6 rounds that were played. I mean, not only were they consistently losing rounds on this T side, they weren't even getting in positions to win the round. They weren't breaching the bomb sites. They weren't getting opening kills. They were never bringing it down to like a 2v2 or something like that. Kind of just having the floor wiped with them by Metizport. But they've now won 3 in a row, and it's been really good calling coming through from them, good fragging as well. And now there's a little bit of momentum for them to try and spark the streak, or continue to keep it running, I suppose.
Metizport still have everything they'd want, but yeah, I've been whittled down, as I said. So, Incendiary, down. Popsky trying to push forward, taking closer control of the B stairs, perhaps. He's trying it with his utility, but still playing a little bit careful this time. He's already been caught off once playing next to the wooden panel, of course. Smoke down, and he'll still continue to play A little bit closer. I'll take one tag to the molly there. Now, of course, that'll be heard. Top of the sandbags next to the white box. Has now managed to traverse his way up into that close position. And Jaquinho is rotated in as well, but he needs to be wary of that mid possibility. Zorta was being boosted up, and he actually just drops off that boost as Jaquinho gets back on the angle. And this time, Jaquinho versus Zorta goes Jaquinho's way. It's been a pretty fun battle so far in this series. Both of them have had their moments in clutches and, of course, in just straight up head-to-heads like that. 45 seconds, and BetBoom, back to A we go.
Yeah, Plopsky's been able to find himself a kill here as well, so this is looking a lot better for Metizport. Looking a lot like the start of the half, where they just got kills as the round played out, and then BetBoom never really had much to go off as to try and get themselves in contention. Either way, going to try and breach in towards A here. ZTR is committed forward, and Utility's kind of locked out the rotation, so he can't get any support, but that's not proving to be much of a problem. Oh man, Chiron not really loving life with the obstruction in front of him, and Adam B will double down. It's like a 720 backflip coming through there, but no points for you, Chiron.
No. Yeah, it's an awkward angle, that one. It's a sort of position where you hope to sort of put yourself in, where maybe you won't go checked if there isn't a player gap, but there was, which makes it doubly hard for him. Have to try and jiggle between those tough angles, make himself hard to hit, but obviously while doing that, it makes it harder for you to hit your own shot. So, Metizport, 6-4, guaranteed at least another 6-6 on the half, but a chance to make it a lot more. As you can see from that POV, actually, from Jaquinho's POV, it does look like, actually, Zorta did shoot for that peek he made, but a bit of inaccuracy on the scope, just missed.
It happens, Trevor, be like that sometimes.
Yeah, because obviously the AWPers can be a bit cruel sometimes. You think you have a clean shot, you move a tiny bit, blurry scope, bullet goes bye-bye.
It does feel like it's at a pretty good place, though, the AWP. I mean, at the end of Go, it was just way too strong. Just abused for the most part. And now it does require a little bit more skill to use the gun. We've seen a number of AWPers stray away from it in general, and also just employ a bit more of a hybrid kind of approach. You know, Nico dodged one of them. Yeah. Zaiwu also done it effectively. Either way. And see what's going to happen
yesterday
here.
Was on a different stratosphere, I think.
Oh, he was out of this world, that's for sure.
Oh, Nafany's forced forward
That's
by the fire and
insane.
flames, but he's still able to find Adam. And now, edge of the smoke on the sandbags. I think they know he's still here. Nafany should find him. He absolutely will. ZTR sent off the building this time. Good job, Nafany. He's hitting some really important entries in this game. He will die to Nilo, and there's no quick trade, so that could get Metizport back into this round.
Oh, how far does you... Oh, never mind.
Wow.
There's still another, though. Nilo's going to keep creeping forward. Zorte's in position, and oh my good. Based on the angle, Nilo doesn't even catch a glimpse of Zorte, but little does he know he's actually exposed a portion of his body, and Zorte is not going to... he's not going to pass up on that opportunity to lock in his 9th kill. I think BetBoom are going to be so happy with 5 rounds on the board, no matter what happens in the last round of the half here. I mean, keep in mind, they were down 5-1, and it was looking like a pretty abhorrent T side from them up until that point. So, the fact that they've guaranteed got 5 to their name going into their CT side is got to inspire some good confidence out of them.
Yeah, and there's been no banzais. There's been no just dives into scenarios for BetBoom. It's been nothing random. It's been calm, collected, T side. That one round when Nafany broke open the B site with 3 entry kills is pretty much the only mass individual performance they needed, because it was Magno who didn't get their kill to begin with, right? So, yeah, it's been well thought out. They fought back well, keeping it close once again. Marlow will be upset in that previous round, of course, that Zorta should take him down. He was preparing, wasn't he? He's preparing the pre-aim to swing. And little did he know that Zorta would have been able to see his arm from there.
Yeah, I thought Zorte probably got robbed of his kill when the nade came through and took down Jaquinho initially, but still ended up getting his dues, I suppose, as he gets his frag. And here we go. last round of the first half underway. Metizport, have they ecoed once throughout this half? I actually don't think they've had to eco a single time, and Yakinio, he puts Nafany 6 foot under. Despite the fact that he couldn't see anything obstructed by the smoke, he's still able to get that frag, and well, Adam B wants to get in on the action as well, but that's going to cost him his life.
Yeah, Zorta, another one for him. Something I mentioned to you multiple times, of course, and to Brandon too, B-Dog, who I worked with recently. Zorta's style, his style of movement, his aiming style. If there were no nameplates, and you just watched him, you'd be able to instantly figure out it was him. Just the way he moves, the way he clears angles, the way he sort of runs away after getting a pick as well, the way he angles his crosshair to the wall. It's all very, how can I say it, personal and unique to him. Yeah, exactly. And he is very entertaining to watch on many an occasion as well. Jaquinho once again tagged down low after his opening kill in this round. Has got some work to do. Flashes and smokes coming through. Chiron, I'm not sure he caught an edge of him there actually. Just spotted him as he fell back toward elevator. ZTR. Ooh, the nade's pretty good. But with Chiron pushed up close and Zorta taking Nilo once again, the last one of this half is going to be a rough one for Metizport to recover. The HP is so low. Jaquinho now on just the one. They're not going to check for Chiron. He knows exactly the fact that Jaquinho's here as well. Zorta rips his head off either way. He'll even find Plopsky as well. It's a quad kill from Zorta to end the half, and you said BetBoom will be delighted with 5. Well, they've got 6.
Yeah, that is such a good recovery from them. Like I said, the 5 rounds they lost initially, there wasn't even much of a contest from them. Then they win 5 of the last 6, and that gives them a really good chance going into their CT side now. It's quite ironic because we've had a number of closely contested first halves today, but we've never actually had a close map, have we? We had 13-8, 13-7 in the first quarterfinal, and then, yeah, 13-7 in the map before this as well. But we have had a couple close halves, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, had a couple of 8-4s, a 7-5 I think that we had yesterday as well.
It was a 6-all before this here in the first map as well.
6-all between these two, yes, of course. And then in the end it was just BetBoom who pulled away. Sort of trying to do more work with the dualies as the second half pistol gets underway, but only the one this time for him. The setup for BetBoom here, though, is really nice. Nafany might get destroyed, but in comes Siren. There's the double. 2 guns, 2 kills, and you could even make it 3. Wow. That is dirty on ZTR. And it's all down to Adam. 1 versus 2. This is still winnable for him, though. He's got the 2 positions of both these remaining CTs known about.
Yeah, makes sense. Magnosius and Siren just looking to try and double up with each other here so that they can find any trades should a gunfight come through. And in fact, they've both just crept their way towards Gap here. I do really like the way that BetBoom are playing this. Where's the bomb? I think they're on top of it are the CTs, so Adam B is just looking for these gunfights right now, but just absolutely nothing being afforded to him. Eventually, he's going to have to force the issue here and try and take these fights on his own terms. Doesn't have any util to aid his cause. Trav, he's also only got 39 points of health. Not sure if there's Kevlar behind him. Time continues to tick away, and now they know exactly where he is.
Oh, if I was BetBoom, I would just stay stock solid in this position, though. It looks like they want to move around. They want to try and jiggle about. As you can see, again, they have a quick glance for info to make sure the bomb is still there. Now, Magno's been spotted, but any eventuality of that being a possibility for Adam is removed by Magnojez once again. Great stuff from BetBoom. They'll now edge into the lead. That was only Magno's 3rd kill of the game as well, which is important to say, considering he's done such good work in this entire series so far, up until this point.
Yeah, true.
Didn't he get 2 kills on the pistol round?
He did. I was just about to... Maybe not in the pistol, but he definitely got his other 2 kills in like the first gun round or something in the first half. So he's been relatively anonymous here so far on Vertigo. But I wouldn't count on that continuing throughout the entirety of the map. A player as good as he is always comes good somewhere along the line. Either way, Metizport going to invest here. I mean, don't have the bomb plant like you normally would, and they're not looking towards bridge. Siren only good for 1. Zorte gets a kill as well, but that's the B-bomb site completely opened up here. So even though Metizport didn't have the extra firepower to work with because they didn't get the bomb plants and the pistol they lost, they've still gotten themselves in a very good position. And even better after that kill comes through.
Nathany, what can you do?
Oh,
Stuck behind the smoke. Oh, he's going for the strafe, but thankfully for him, he doesn't pull a cold Zera, and Plopsky will take him out, and that is a very important instant rebuttal for Metizport. Forced by Walls will now get underway, and you'd think that they'd have the advantage in this round now with Metizport, even despite that. I think that spot is still called Cold Zera because he was probably one of the first ever professionals ever to fall off that, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Cold Zera by a number of pros.
Definitely been a few infamous situations where that's happened. And a few unnecessary ones as well. Either way, good work out of Metizport. And it feels like BetBoom just never really able to find a foothold in that round. They just get caught off guard by the ferocity from the T side. Probably caught off guard by the force buy, you know. I mean, Siren commits to the gunfight with his M4, gets traded out, and then everyone tries to recover the round for BetBoom, but it's a lot of individual players just by themselves looking to get kills and getting overwhelmed by the Tech 9s. So now they're going to force up in response, but it doesn't look nearly as good as it did for Metizport.
Triple boost. Both of them jumping at the same time. What's going on here? There's the comms boys. Nathany looking for the frag, and maybe some of those little jumps were heard. Great instant check from ZTR. Even if the jumps aren't like the ones that actually make a proper sound cue, sometimes you can hear the shuffling, right? The little like...
Yes.
It's like a sort of a sound as if you jump on a cloud. That's the kind of sound that I would expect that sound to sound like, you know? And
I don't really have you there, I'm going to be honest, Trav. You lost me a little bit there.
No?
Jumping
Jump on a pillow,
cloud.
maybe?
Yeah, that may be a bit closer.
Like a bit more of a puff sort of sound.
Alright, well, just really good patience here from Metizport. Just holding angles. And they get stepped in on. No problem mopping up the kills. And they haven't really moved a muscle thereafter either. Did you used to think you could stand on clouds, Trav, when you were younger? I mean, surely, right? Everybody did. Let's be honest.
Oh, that's quite That's quite specific. So, couldn't tell you if I remember the exact thought of my childhood, but I don't know.
Wow. Trav with the Giga Chad memory.
What I used to think when I was younger is that there had to be a brick wall at the end of the universe somewhere. It has to end somewhere.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, it does have to end somewhere, but
not a brick wall.
Time is always... It wouldn't be a brick wall, though, Trav. No, definitely not. But there has to be a beginning and an end. That's where there's a lot of theories.
Just go... Yes,
it did. Oh.
Oh, no.
If he's using a 5.7, that doesn't happen, by the way.
That's true, actually.
Well, any opportunity to dog on the CZ never goes amiss. Good reposition from Magnosia's as well. I don't think there's any world that Plopsy expects him in this corner, but yeah, still good awareness from him to clear it out, and he'll get the kill as a result.
Yeah, nicely done. Sometimes we do have those, you know, as a human being, you have those existential crises, where you're like, oh my god, the universe is actually kind of infinite, and we're a little planet watching Counter-Strike through a program called VMix and talking about it for a living. That's crazy.
That's why you just have to do what you love in this world. One life, one opportunity, get out there, make the most of it. Nothing matters, and everything is your own fault.
That's the way to look at it.
It is a good way. Don't have that victim mentality, you know, take responsibility for the things that happen around you. You have a lot more power than you realize in this world. And that's what they don't want you to know, Trav. Suits. Either way, just a bit of fun. Bit of bants.
Yeah, it is pretty wild, but let's not go down that path, and let's go down the path of eco frags. Easy for Adam. I say easy. He's now 2 HP. He's been dinked and removed by Siren, but there's ZTR.
Nice.
3 for him on the spray down, and it's only Siren left. Nice kill from Siren. That's actually quite an impactful second frag. There's no second T with Metizport there, with ZTR to help him out. So Siren has a chance to save the AK.
Question is, how far does he go here? Because if he keeps pushing forward, he's going to walk straight into the crosshair. What's he fishing for there? Is he just trying to reposition? Is he trying to get kills? Not sure.
I mean,
but
they can buy anyway, can't they? So...
yeah, but come on. AK on the CT side doesn't get better than that. He would have had a bit more utility to work with here as well, although he's been dropped a couple pieces from his teammates. I think he gave the AWP to Zorte, so it's only fair that Zorte in turn gives Siren all of his utility. So I appreciate that. Good teammate right there. Fair trade. Fair deal.
Yes, sir. Oh, nice catch from Adam. That's Nafany down. Off the back of that, we're going to be stomping into a B, and I say stomping, we're actually going to be shifting our way in. Magno, oh, he's a bit off this map, Magno. This is this is the quietest map I've seen from Magnajez in basically every single cast I've ever done of BetBoom while he's been on the team. Bit of a rough one for him after such a great first map.
Might be the lowest tally of kills we've seen from Magno in a BetBoom jersey as well. Of course, he hasn't been a part of the team for a very long time, but yeah, just not a performance that's synonymous with the level we've seen from Magnosia's as of late. And Metizport are going to get themselves up to double digits, and actually almost with ease here, Trav. Really not much resistance at all in the round. They found that opening pick onto Nafany and then just find their way in towards the B bomb site without much of a problem afterwards as well. So that's going to be double digits now, and BetBoom on an eco. Unless they decide to just buy up around these guns, which wouldn't be a bad option either. Probably what they're going to do here. Drop a couple rifles and then one player with an MP9. Oh, and that might have all changed because Chiron got greedy.
He did indeed. Topski, a little grin on his face there. Happy with that one. Saw him pinging the molly and the AK on the ground to say this is what I'm stopping them from maybe going toward. As they start glowing magically. And now this puts Metizport in a brilliant position. Talking about the world being powerful and you being powerful. Is there anyone in chat who has had the privilege of seeing the Aurora? Of course, it's been very well publicised around news sites across the world. Let me know, because...
What do you mean, mate? They lost against Miles NXT last night.
I knew I'd set you up for that. I had a hope. I'd set you up for that. And I did. But yeah, the Aurora in the skies across the world, even in the UK, has been seen, and it's absolutely beautiful. I have not had a chance to see it in person.
Is that basically like the Northern Lights? Is it the same thing?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay. Right.
So it's like charged particles causing the atmosphere to like glow. It came from like a sunspot or something, which is 17 times the diameter of Earth or something like that. 17 times, actually, I think.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I heard about it. The solar flares or solar storms.
Yes. Yeah, geometric storm or something, yeah.
See, we're in the Southern Hemisphere, so we just don't get the cool stuff that you guys get in the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, we don't get to see all the fun stuff out there in the world. We didn't get to see the recent solar eclipse, and you know how it is here. Southern Hemisphere always second best.
At least you get mostly
unless it's weather. There we go.
go.
Yeah, common denominator for sure.
Can Zorta get into the action on this round? Unfortunately, there are many smokes in his way. They'll be blown up by Metizport and ZTR, but Magno will go down. There goes Chiron as well, and Zorta can't get into the action. He's going to probably go off and save. Metizport 11. Simple round up against the Eco and the saved AWP. And that's probably to be expected. So, yeah, they're in a great position right now, Metizport, to possibly take us through to a third map decider.
Yeah, the start of the second half has looked very similar to the start of the first half, which has just been one-way traffic in favor of Metizport. They lost the pistol, by the way. They haven't lost anything since then, have Metizport. This is going to be their 5th consecutive round now on the T side.
Yeah, indeed.
Looking very good.
Something I also wanted to mention on the subject we were just talking about, just to end off, it's something I read this morning before I started casting. Without our magnetic field to protect us, our atmosphere would have been lost to space long ago. The colours in the sky are nature reminding us that we're very lucky to be here amidst all the violence in the world. And perhaps, therefore, also reminding us not to fuck it all up.
Well, there we go. That's the thing, Travis. There's so many factors out there in the world that come together to allow for this beautiful opportunity which we call life. And
Exactly.
without one of the many things that combine to allow for it, we wouldn't quite be here. So
Look after
what are you
it.
doing worrying? What are you doing worrying about, you know, the calories in your yogurt? You know?
That's
What are
a
you doing
very,
worrying about that girl
that's a
who
very
can respond to
specific
your
example. But I respect it.
Tinder? It's all irrelevant, Trav.
Ooh. That might be relevant in this round, though. Damage
Yeah,
taken
it would
again
be.
by Magno, Jez, and Siren. The tag on Magno just through the edge of the wall there. More Molotovs coming in toward default too. He's having to deploy most of his utility to keep himself alive right now. 3 players toward B stairs. They've got that lurk in mid once again. Plopsky's already close in the cubby. This is going to be tough for BetBoom.
Man. Plopsky has just snaked his way through the smoke. There's no way BetBoom are aware of that. He activates, taking down Siren. Magnoj will go down as well. Oh, it's a beautiful round coming through from the T side up until Nafany looking to try and make a mark on the defense. Still some decisions to be made here for Metizport as to where they're going to finish off on the round. It does look like they'll head in towards this B-bomb site. Nafany, the only player on the side of the map. Chiron edging in that direction, but that's round over off the back of the kill. Chiron and Zorte surely going to have to save their guns. Chiron desperately trying to get in position to disrupt the T side. Yeah, you're going to have to stick to your original gun, and he's actually a bit of a comedic act there. Drops his gun, picks it up again, gets a kill, but then gets traded. And Zorte will want nothing more to do with anything left here in the round as Metizport get themselves up to map point.
Yeah, and Zorta went looking in mid as well to try and keep himself alive a little while longer. And when in doing that, in trying to find a pick to give himself more space to save, well, Nilo has deleted him. He's up to 16 and 9 alongside ZTR. Very even team performance across the board for Metizport. And it's exactly the same pattern that we saw for BetBoom on map 1. Even half, and one of the two pulled away. It was BetBoom on map 1 to pull away to a comfortable 13-7. And once again, this time it looks like it's going to be Metizport. At the same scoreline.
Yeah, true, man. The curse of the 13-7 continues. Potentially. Unless BetBoom can put up some resistance here and try and prolong what seems like is inevitable here. And I was going to say, an opening kill for them to celebrate, but couldn't even get the words out before Metizport have not only a response in the trade, but have gone one step further by taking down Chiron. And even with the way Chiron played that previous retake, Trav, kind of showed me there could be some signs of frustration here for the CT side, and it's looking like the deal is done.
Yeah, Chiron's made some errors that he won't like to look back on in this game. And overall has had a pretty poor series. Zorta, I'm pretty sure that was a wall bang on the default plant there, if I'm not mistaken. Through the smoke, through the box. That's pretty nutty. Those, of course, are very doable. You can see it there. Bomb on the ground. Has to be re-picked up again. Plopsky will slightly move his position. Zorta, of course, will try the lineup once again. But hang on, in comes Siren! Doubles down. And suddenly, it's all switched around. Nilo in the clutch to try and send Metizport to a deciding third map. Bomb is not being held as of yet. Zorta is the one with the kit, but he's the one with the AWP. Siren low HP from that double kill. Those heroics to try and keep BetBoom alive in this game. It's an opening tap from Siren, but not Zorta with the kit. Nilo's in the crane smoke, and thankfully for BetBoom and for Siren, he manages to pounce at the right time. Defuse will come through, and a very difficult round, thanks to the Zorta wallbang, is set up to keep BetBoom alive just.
Were you ever nervy there, Trav? Ever nervy for a moment that the bomb was going to explode there in Siren's face? Because it was very close, that's for sure. Either way, BetBoom have finally won another round back. They lost 6 in a row on their CT side. And in the 11th hour, in the last moment here to fight and keep themselves alive, they will win another round. Good attempt from Nilo playing that smoke fade, but unfortunately for him, BetBoom, both of their remaining players on top of each other meant there was an easy trade. Like I said, very similar start to both of these halves where Metizport have just dominated proceedings.
Yeah.
And it's not even like there's been much of a contest in the rounds that they're winning. They won 6 in a row, and BetBoom probably got collectively like 6 to 8 kills in those 6 rounds. Either way, the game's not over. And I will say, it's been a very good performance here from Plopsky on Vertigo as well. You can see how his experience has been coming through. His game sense has been on point. You know, the initiative he's taken and how he's capitalized on moments as well has looked very good. So, yeah, props to Plopsky here so far on Vertigo.
Yeah, he's kept himself very sharp as Plopsky, and honestly, fair play to him. I obviously knew him as a good player, just fell off quite considerably at the end of his run in NIP. And trying to change some minds about some people. Be thinking he's not good enough to make the step back into this level of CS. Well, there's a chance he absolutely can still do so. ZTR, oh, for a second I thought he was going to take Siren as well. If he did, the round could have been on. But as it is, it's now comfortable for BetBoom. Just got to find Nilo. 1 versus 3. Fortunately, with the bomb on the B site itself, and with the rotation, of course, already in, this is going to be very hard to fight through for Nilo. Nafany on the angle. Siren's got the AWP in position, and as soon as he sees a glimmer, he even takes him through the corner of the wall. So, BetBoom still alive on Vertigo. There is still a couple more buys left for Metizport to try and close this out. Their money has been bolstered for a long time.
Yeah, Siren's been a shining light here. One of the lone shining lights for BetBoom on Vertigo so far. He gets a quad kill here in this round, and he gets a multi-kill in the round before that as well. So both of the rounds that BetBoom have won here have basically been predicated off of Siren's success alone. 3 more rounds is what they require, though. Because of the good job they did in that first half, it means that they're still in contention.
Oh. I mean, that's pretty insane. Adam's been dinked through the smoke, as you could see, but ZTR wins the duel, but gets dinked as well. So you've got 2 players on Metizport with 23 health between them. But still, a man down on BetBoom and 4 kills away Metizport from taking this map. We are organising ourselves toward the boost onto a B again, but noise is being made slightly, and Magnajez is keeping a very close eye on this. He knows exactly what's going on. Damage will come through. Oh, it could have been worse. It could have been worse for Metizport. Plopsky gets a quick trade. 4 versus 3 now. Low HP, of course, still on 2 players as Plopsky managed to get that entry. Oh, the smoke. They've just seen Nafany through the corner of it has Plopsky, but utility is coming his way, and he's been peppered down so much. How is my brother still alive? Finally, he goes down, and Nafany once again is multi-fragging to try and keep his team in this map. He did some great work on T-side. And now he's showing up on CT. Nice angle held by Adam, but 12 HP to find 2 more players. With 30 seconds on the clock, this is not easy.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure whose smoke that was there, that Nafany was looking to play around as Adam B will just go down through the smoke. I think it was a CT smoke. It definitely doesn't make sense that it would have been a T-side smoke because it was far too shallow, and it gives Nafany a lot of room to work with. So he does really well there, gets ahead of the generator players alongside that smoke. And he is a fearless player, right? There was a lot of utility raining in. There were a lot of players pushing into the bomb sites as well. But he's not trying to stay back passively. He gets ahead of the game and then gets himself in a really strong position to find that multi-kill. So there you have it. BetBoom get themselves up to double digits. Metizport don't get a bomb plant either. I'm not sure what their money looks like. Yeah, I think there's going to be just enough to afford an investment, but probably only 1 gun round between BetBoom and Overtime right now.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be this one either. Or will it? Do they go all in here, Trav?
Looks like it. Oh. Nilo only on a deagle. I'd have liked to maybe see him on the AK and maybe Jacquini on the deagle instead, but everyone's been having a pretty decent game, so there's no one you could really say, oh, I should be giving up my weapon for a higher fragging teammate. To be fair, they've all played well. And it looks like they're going to try and hold W. Jacquini, though, gets so blind. The counter flashes from BetBoom there was actually super critical. He was really looking to hold W there, I think.
Yeah, this is the round for Metizport. This is the one they have to get it done in. It was looking very good at one point, leading 12-7. However, things have changed since then quite drastically. And they've got a simple approach here, Trav. All 5 players grouped up at the bottom of ramp right now. They've got a whole world of utility to be deployed as well. That's your teammate Chiron, and actually does a significant chunk of damage there to Nafany. Metizport are just letting the CTs have their fun right now, saying, yeah, you can use your util, have your little peaks, have your little spams, and then it's our turn. And look at the util that Metizport have compared to BetBoom.
Yeah, that could be the biggest problem. BetBoom have a smoke and a flash left, whereas Metizport have pretty much a full belt on 2 players. In come the smokes. Well, they do peek ahead of them, but look at this. There's going to be 4 players for BetBoom to fight, but they're still getting away with it. Plopsky in the end does find the trade, but Zorta's still here. Has to be dropped on by Plopsky. And he will get removed, but honestly, considering the situation that BetBoom are in, they'll be kind of delighted. They're in a 2 versus 2. Round's not over.
Production.
We're back in. Nilo has taken Magnajez, and it's all down to Siren. This could be it for BetBoom on this map. He's got a full health, of course, and he's got a kit, but he's having to try and elevate his angle. Spots the first. Can't react to Nilo. Actually really close for Siren. But Nilo sorts it out for Metizport, as he's done on so many occasions. And we're going to a 3rd map decider.
Yeah, fully deserved for Metizport as well. I mean, they do really well there.
Right.
His rating was, I think, like 0.55 at the end of that map or something like that, which means I think it is just an anomaly. I think it is just a blip. Exner, we're going to bid you farewell. We'll see you soon, Mr. Was it Stephen Pineapple or something like that?
Yes,
Did I get it right? Okay, well, there we go.
Officially.
But as I was saying, I think we should see Magnosia's returning to the form we know he's capable of, because we saw him look very good on Ancient, so I don't think it's going to be a serious long performance.
Yeah, that feels like just a blip for me, right? Everyone can have a bad game. It's understandable. It happens. So let's see how he performs on map 3. Let's see how both these 2 sets of players perform, because I'm hoping this could be a great game. Adam will start us off nicely, and Nilo in the sandwich position there, in a great spot to maybe frag with those dualies, but gets hard cleared by Adam. Or by Siren, sorry, and Adam with 2 kills. He can't get a 3rd. Chiron will stop him. Back into a 3 versus 3, and he's actually crept his way into an interesting position. He's not been completely cleared yet, and Plopsy's been removed by Chiron as well. This is an important pistol round from Chiron to set himself up in this series, and Siren has found his 2nd as well. Suddenly, it's all down to Jaquinho, and I don't think he's aware that Nafany is directly underneath him. He'll swing for it, and he will take it. Great start for BetBoom.
Yeah, but not an easy pistol round at all, even though they do make it look a little bit easy there. You know, they were committed to plant on default and try and take CT control, but it was a challenge for them. You know, Nafany flashes, and they're actually forced into CT. They had the jungle and stairs smoke initially, but they couldn't really get back to any other post-plant positions besides CT. So that entire post-plant lived and died with BetBoom winning their gunfights out in that part of the bomb site, and it's exactly what they do. So great work coming through from Siren, and Chiron in particular had to get their hands dirty, and yeah, they made it look really good. Now Metizport will full save.
Mac 10's in play. Siren wandering his way forward. Easy frag on Adam. Make sure they just don't lose too many players to these USPs. They've already managed to collect 1 Mac 10, and ZTR's trying to put that to good use, but now a reload has to come through and he's going to get swarmed. Sadly, no bonus cash for him. And Plopsky and Nilo are, well, stuck in connector. Definitely Plopsky is, that's for sure. So it should be fine for BetBoom to survive at least with 3, as long as Chiron doesn't go over-aggressive slightly. He's already put himself on the top of the ramp angle there, as you can see, holding in T-spawn. So, smart position to go toward. Keep himself as safe as possible, and Zorta will find the last 2, just to give himself a little bit of extra cash as well, even though it's not on the Mac 10. Helps out for that future AWP eventually. Not yet, but eventually. And Metizport will bring out the A1Ss. So it still seems like, despite the fact the M4A4, I've always said, feels really nice to use in CS2, it still feels like, overall, 90% A1Ss, 10% A4s these days.
Yeah, not as much of split as you would have expected coming into CS2, unfortunately. don't know if the A4 needs a bit more of a buff, maybe. I would be reluctant to nerf the A1S, especially with how tough the CT side is at the moment. So I think if you want to try and balance out the two rifles, probably just give the A4 a bit of a buff. I don't know. I would like to see more of it, though. I was really hoping it would become like a situational gun, because you can have both equipped while you're playing the game.
Yeah. Turns out money is all important, Matt.
Yeah.
And it being
$200
cheaper
makes a difference.
I'd love to see the A4 go to 2,900. I think that'd be pretty nice. We'll
What
see,
if they
though.
flip the prices?
That also would be very interesting. Yeah, I completely agree. Jaquinho, this is also interesting. He's not going checked. Hang on, Jaquinho. What's going on here? That was almost an absolute nightmare. You could see himself there, hands on head in the player cam, but his blushes are spared by ZTR. He waited way too long there, ZTR. I know he's wary, of course, of being spotted. His silencer can stick out in that position, but the fact he actually gets one in the end is a bit of a minor miracle.
Yeah, I was cringing very hard there for Mr. Yaquinho. As you said, at least he gets a kill before he loses his life out. So, does mean ZTR is just reduced to the 1v1. And it will be Metizport to get themselves on the board. So, good job defending that A-bomb site. There was a lot thrown at them from the start of the round. But they're able to deal with everything and then have a bit of a response. BetBoom empty their pockets to afford a buy here. There's a Galil in the mix and a Mac 10 as well. So, it doesn't look phenomenal from the T's perspective. Doesn't look great from Metizport either. Would be a pretty fun game to snapshot this round and say, guess who won the previous kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. Plopsky on the angle. Magnajez is not gonna clear the angle, and Plopsky actually takes a very long time to take him down, and that because of that, it let more players take over the bomb site. Chiron got his kill, Nafani got his well. Trades came through quickly, and the fact it came through that quickly means that Metizport are off to save already. 3-1 BetBoom is the score, and I'm not saying that maybe if Magnajez had cleared the angle, or if Plopsky maybe had killed him a little bit quicker than he did, would have changed how that round played out. But either way, BetBoom managed to converge very quickly, don't they?
And it's a very good response from them as well after losing the round just prior to that. A good change up, a good pivot. Nafani does love calling a T-side on Mirage though. I feel like it's a map that's just always been in his wheelhouse. Got a very comfortable style here on Mirage. One of those maps where you have a huge amount of variety as that T side. You got pocket calls from spawn you can bring to the table. Really does offer itself up to multiple different ways to approach the T side as well, in terms of, you know, playing out your passive defaults. You can move quite quickly as well. You can try and sprinkle in something between.
Needs to break the smoke top mid, but nothing sighted yet. There is an angle being crossed here, though, by Nafani, and actually, it's not Nilo to get the kill, it's Plopsky to help out with a double swing, but now Nilo needs to do more work, and as he goes for his swing, Magnajez, welcome back, as you say, to the server. 2 quick entries for him. He's on 4 kills already, and what did he end the previous map with? Was it 5 or something?
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.
So he's already 1 away from that tally, 5 rounds in, and it's great to see him.
I mean, it did
brag.
just feel like, yeah, he wasn't able to buy a kill on that previous map. And that's just one of those things sometimes that happens, right? Just never really able to get into a position of comfort. He was the B anchor as well, which is a very tough job on Vertigo in particular. And he just didn't enjoy life, and that's okay. He's a youngster, right? So,
yeah, for
it's
sure.
all part of the process.
No
19
one.
years old, Mr. Magnosia's.
No one can play well every single game. No one can win every single match.
Unless you're, what, like Prime Astralis 2019? You're a pretty good example.
Even they lost a few every now and then. And then they fell
Not
off.
the important ones, at least. Yeah, then they did fall off. They got forced to play a bunch of online tournaments. They got burnt out, Trav.
Yeah.
And yeah, the rest is
Not
history.
even-
Either way.
Not even Max Verstappen can win every single F1 race. Thank you, Lando Norris.
Yeah, it's a good point. And not even his own fault, right? Probably coming wrong with the car when he doesn't win a race.
Little boost up for the AWP of Zorta. Top mid. Checking every single nook and cranny of that smoke. Magnajez is in the Palace position right now. Jaquinho's on the balcony, with Adam playing close ramp with the MP9. Has moved into Sandwich, and Chiron has found Jaquinho, which is actually a surprising find. Chiron's already out-ramped quite a long way, and he card clears Adam. There's some slight mistimings on these frags from Metizport, but if Plopsky can get a third, it would be ridiculous. Not this time. Oh, Zorta needs to duck. He's ducking and diving right now to get away from Nilo. Eventually, he'll go down, but it took him so long to take that frag. Magnajez found another frag in the meantime. Bomb safely planted on A. Nilo can pick up the AWP, even though there's a kit in front of him on the ground. It's not worth going for this.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good round coming through from Metizport. The fact they get 3 kills, they can carry an AWP through into the next as well. They didn't fully invest here, so it's not a bad return. Was quite comical there from Zorte, just trying to use that little piece of sheet metal to give himself some cover, and eventually just gets jumped on by the 5-7. But it will be BetBoom who get themselves up to a 5-1 scoreline. Chiron, I mean, this is going to be a really good map for him. In general, Mirage has been a big strength of Chiron. I mean, everybody knows his mechanics are really good, and a map like Mirage certainly does lend itself to that skill set. And we know, I mean, back in his, Virtus Pro / Outsider days, which wasn't the longest stint, of course. He looked very good on the map there. Then before that, Aurora, he was very good on Mirage. It's just always been a staple for Chiron. And he's had a bit of a tough time in this match as well. So you've got to imagine this is where he can really soar, right? And inflict pain on Metizport.
Yeah, I hope so for his case. Because, when he got removed from VP, there were whispers of, well, he joined Aurora. Aurora became slightly worse. He joined VP. VP became slightly worse. So it was like he was the problem. But don't get me wrong, he's not performed incredibly in this series so far. But he's definitely not the outright problem for this team. No one is, really. Can be a
I feel like he's a very unique player. So
yeah.
You've got to find a unique system and a team who understand his strengths and his weaknesses and the type of player that he is to really get the most out of him. And when you do, you get an incredibly unique player who hits very hard. And that's a huge advantage to have in a team.
It's sort of players like Chiron who we've looked at and say, oh, well, CS2 are going to suit them. But it actually has been a bit of a lottery to figure out who suits CS2 and who doesn't, right? Topsky should have a kill here. He absolutely will. But yeah, there are some players which you kind of looked at and said, well, they could definitely suit CS2. They haven't.
Yakindar.
Yeah, exactly. And some players who you'd think, well, they shouldn't suit CS2. And they absolutely do, and they've improved tenfold.
JT.
There you go. Not a bad example, actually, even though his individual level isn't necessarily known for, but it definitely got improved with CS2 without a doubt. And complexity, even though his individual level is not... Right now, they're playing so well, his individual level is not even really needed that much, is it? They're playing so incredibly well. So, yeah, Liege is a downright superstar in CS2 still, which is great to see.
Mm-hmm.
After so many
Nico
years.
struggling, of course.
Yeah, Nico struggling.
Hunter as well.
Nico and Hunter struggling just makes me sad, man. Like
know.
every single time I watch G2 play and I see Nico like 3-10 or something, it just makes my heart hurt. It's like...
But then the next map he goes like 24-5, so he's definitely still got it. It's not like
there somewhere, isn't it?
all is lost.
It's there somewhere.
I feel like it's just beneath the surface. I mean, you look at the the instability with the team and how much pressure they're under right now. I mean, it makes sense that he wouldn't be at his peak performance. You know what? I've got a perfect roster move for G2. Alexi B in place of Hooksy.
Surely
that's the call.
Imagine if they tried that again. That would be hilarious.
No, I mean they're not allowed to. That roster move's vetoed.
Yeah, vetoed roster move, sadly. Honestly, I don't know how to fix G2 right now. I don't know if maybe...
I think it's such a polarizing conversation. The problem is everybody's either Team Drake and Team Hooksy and Team Nico and Hunter. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like, it feels like you have to be on one side or the other when both cases can be true at the same time. Hooksy can be, struggling as an IGL, not contributing as much as he can, while Nico and Hunter may also be contributing to the struggles in Pikachu. It's not like you have to be on either side.
Yeah, it's like there's two answers to it. As Adam B gets a nice Deagle frag, and actually we'll keep on track of that in a moment. That conversation. Go back to the action quickly because this half bike could still have some legs to it. Adam with 2-1 digs. Plopsky has shown his hand, but Adam's still playing with this ticket smoke. Not sure they've heard him drop, and there we are. ZTR peeks and helps. There's Adam with a third headshot. Sadly, we've seen none of them from first-person POV, but I'm sure they were tasty. Jaquinho will find Magnajez, and a round that probably should have gone BetBoom's way will go Metisport's way, and they finally get a second on the board.
It definitely should have gone BetBoom's way. I think they were just a bit careless there with how they pushed their way forward. It kind of felt like they'd won the round in their minds before they'd actually won it in the server, because they knew that they were playing against Desert Eagles and the like. Just pushed forward and expected to get the kills, but then they get punished, and all of a sudden they're down numerically, and they keep trying to force the issue to recover the round, but they continue to lose players in the process. Eventually Magnolia is the only player left alive, and he goes down as well. What a way for Metizport to win their second.
Yeah, for sure. That gives them a bit of bolster of the economy as well. BetBoom maybe 6-2 up, but of course winning on a half investment means that three players who stayed alive and managed to pick up weaponry. A bit of cash in the bank now. And yeah, I mean, going back to our previous conversation, sometimes people have questioned even Taz, right? Even though he's been new to the team. Taz has said that he's taken responsibility for some vetoes, for example, right? So people have questioned his role too.
I've got a point on the Taz conversation, which I'll add on now, as we do see BetBoom looking to try and make it work in towards A. The problem is they're down 4 versus 2 right now. Siren has been able to snake his way amongst the smoke, but takes damage in the process of getting that kill on Adam B. At least he does create space now. Zorta is the one with the bomb, patiently waiting and hoping someone will step into his scope, but nothing up for grabs just yet. So eventually he's going to have to make a move here. That's exactly what he looks to do.
Yeah,
2 versus 3.
That smoke up top con won't be there for too much longer, so he had to try and take the initiative and got that plant straight away, but even though Siren takes ZTR, a secondary AWP of course, it was in play for a little bit, he will only get the 1. So it's down to Zorta. 1 versus 2, there are kits in play, and of course the smoke from Nilo. And Zorta has gone for the around-the-world play. This smoke, unfortunately, could prove to be his undoing. And sadly, he's just not there in time. He had 1 shot in the last ebbs of the bomb defuse. Unfortunately, couldn't find it. And Metizport get their third. Not a bad attempt from Zorta. It's sort of a situation you put yourself in there where if you miss your attempt, you can probably still save the AWP as well. Fair play.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. What I wanted to say about the Taz thing is I kind of wish that Taz had gone through a different path to coaching and maybe started at like a tier 3 team or something like that, and then, figured out his way of doing things as a coach and just flesh it out over like 12 or 18 months and go through the motions of, communicating between upper management and the team and just being that link and dealing with all the different challenges of traveling and roles clashing and personalities. Just like get used to how things work as a coach, kind of like Xabi Alonso has with Bayern Leverkusen. Started off at a lower level, and now you've got all the big teams who are looking to sign him, whereas it's like Taz has just started at Real Madrid basically. And I mean, based off what credit, based on what reason have they made the decision to bring him in as a coach, besides a gamble of him being such a good IGL in the past? Yeah,
true. It's fair to say that Neo being involved with FaZe hasn't gone too badly, at least in the early stages, but
yeah, true.
Yeah, it can be different for different people. Different strokes for different folks, as they say. Molotov into a ramp to try and hold BetBoom at bay. Siren is lurking his way upstairs. That could be a big problem for Adam, and he only gets the 1. That one is fine, because Nilo is still hiding on Firebox, and even though he's so low, he's not gone checked until right then. Nafany covers all his bases. Gets the frag and gets the plant as well. 3 versus 3. Good swing from Plopsky, though. Zorta will drop. And the HP, of course, is very much favouring Metizport. Jaquinho is taking a while to clear out mid, make absolutely sure you won't get caught off guard in that position. But Chiron and Nafany have to do some heroics here. There's at least one from Chiron, and Nafany is playing with this smoke. It's in between triple and default. ZTR has found the angle, and now he'll try to hold the bomb, but hang on. Nafany, you're holding him, my friend. Just go for the shots. He's done exactly that. Plopsky finds both through the smoke, though, and somehow will get the defuse in time. What a round, and what a recovery from Plopsky.
I mean, it was always going to be very difficult for BetBoom to navigate that post-plant because of how low the players they had alive were. And so you got to respect the effort. It makes sense the way that they go about it as well. You know, Nafany seeking refuge in the smoke, but because he's so low, Plopsky just turns and burns and gets a kill in the smoke and is able to win the round for his team. So Metizport are fighting tooth and nail right now. It was looking pretty rough for them at one point because not only were BetBoom winning a lot of rounds, it's the way they were winning the rounds was very convincing. However, Metizport have been able to put a stop to that momentum, and they draw within 2.
Oh, Chiron. Come on, Chiron. This is the Chiron we want to see. He gets a sick entry. Only one this time. Nilo stops him. A star rifler in his own right. And Jaquinho dancing around the site, trying to stay alive, trying to get ZTR into a position to frag, and to try and waste the clock for Nilo to get into a position to help out. ZTR does get his second. And of all of that, it's down to Zorta again. It is only a 1 versus 2, but he's just going to shift his way through the corner of that smoke. ZTR is still in that position. 3 for him, 2 for Nilo on the quick rotation. In the end, even though Jaquinho doesn't even get any kills in that round, he's actually quite impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. Nilo able to get those 3 kills in the process as well. It's looking pretty good for BetBoom. The fact that they were able to get out of apartments, it's normally a really good sign if the T side is able to get out of apps into the bomb site and have numbers alive. But Metizport actually clean them up after they get out of apps. Now they draw within 1, so looking a lot better here for the Swedish squad, who can level up the scoreline now going into the second half. Let's see if they can make it happen. Can they realize that opportunity? Yeah, BetBoom have been able to get themselves into some pretty good positions in these past few rounds, but they haven't actually done a huge amount with them, Trav, so things kind of falling apart a little bit for BetBoom.
Oh, Siren. At least one quick back in return, but in the end, there's just too many players. Too many quick rotations for BetBoom to deal with, and I think Metizport, considering how BetBoom, well, what was it? Was it 6-1? It was. There it is at the top of the screen.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
They recovered it, and guess what, Matt? It's another 6-6 half.
Yeah, yet again. Is that 3 in a row for us here in the series?
Let me check quickly. I know it's
I
definitely
think
the
7-5 was... No, it was. It was 6-all on the previous 2 maps before this as well at the half.
Yes, it
so
was. How about
3
that?
consecutive maps of 6 apiece.
How about that?
Metizport have actually started on the CT side every single time as well, which means BetBoom have started on the T side every map we've had so far. And that's been the case here in the Decider as well. So, let's see. What does the final half have in store for us here in this particular matchup? Who will progress through to the semi-finals? And who will be eliminated in the quarters?
Quick
Here we
play
go.
toward B. Siren in position with the dualies. Nilo quick trade on Zorta. And actually, the bomb is, well, late. And there's a reason for that. Look at ZTR's position. Oh, he gets blindsided by Magnajez. And this round has still got some legs, even though Magnajez gets that frag, because the dink on Siren, 4 HP. But now Jaquinho's really learned that's the bomb on the floor. Yeah, that's probably that. Plopsky needs a ridiculous play, and there are 3 players in that market position to try and face at once. Bomb is dropped in a pretty awkward spot as well. Nafany is in a very strong position there. How does Plopsky even get some kill reward bonus here? If he walks into wood market, there's a chance, because he's actually not being covered, is Siren. Chiron is just sort of jiggling the angle. It's an angle where he can just swing past it quickly and then check the silence. That's exactly what he does. And he does look for that second very quickly. He reads the situation very nicely there, Plopsky, but now double apps presence to worry about is the biggest problem, and he's going to get caught as he tries to jump over. The burst, the jump, the arm, the shoulder. Not enough bullets for that, I'm afraid. And Chiron will then rotate round towards short and tap him out. BetBoom will edge into the lead once again.
Yeah, they never stop making moves in that pistol round. Even after they get the initial advantage, they're still continuing to achieve objectives, you know, flanking around, getting map control. They lock down the bomb, so even though Plopsky is kind of asking some questions in market, BetBoom have already covered their next base by getting the bomb in their control. So, yeah, it was inevitable they were going to win that pistol. My boy Magnosius continues to do work in these pistol rounds as well. He's had, well, we played 6 pistol rounds in the series, and he's had 3 multi-kills across the pistol rounds, so he's doing a lot of the lifting here for his team.
Yep.
And by the way, Metizport are forced up again here after losing the T-side pistol but not getting the bomb plants. This is clearly a pretty standard procedure for them.
Oh, well, it looks like they're going to get caught off. This is a really nice hold for Magnajez and Nafany. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, they had a little bit of utility to try and go for something, but they just get stopped at the first port of call. And ZCR and Jaquinho, of course, no armor. He's setting up a little bit of cash for the possibility of that future AWP, and he'll just get swung on by Zorta. MP9 gets the freest of free kills, and ZCR just wants something. Wants one free frag to make this investment worth it, but if BetBoom win this one all 5 alive, this was the full force as you say, there it is. This puts BetBoom in a very solid position. This is very likely going to be 9 coming in here. And their money will be bolstered significantly with all 5 alive in that one. And very likely at least 4 in this following.
It's what they weren't able to do on Vertigo in the second half because they won the pistol round to commence proceedings where they go up 7-6, but then they lose to the Tech 9s afterwards, and that's where things start to unravel. This time, they lock it down flawlessly. All 5 players stay alive. And now, Metizport will have to eco 9-6 prime for the taking for BetBoom. And, I mean, we know Vertigo, it's a bit of a circumspect map in general for BetBoom. It's not a great map. It's not very reliable. Whereas Mirage is. I mean, it's their most played map. You've already spoken about how many times these two teams combined have played Mirage as of late. BetBoom thoroughly enjoy the CT side on this map as well. So considering the position that they should be in at the end of this round, I can't see a world in which they don't win the map from 9-6, right? I mean, they're the favorites, the individuals are looking good, CT side Mirage, everything adds up. And the fact that Metizport are playing with a stand-in, so it's a tough ask, man. A really tough ask here for the T side.
Yeah,
I think I'm getting ahead of myself here, Trav.
I don't know. I don't think so. As long as Magnajez doesn't get caught on the angle. Thankfully, he's got Chiron in position, and yes, they're going to line up. A bit of team damage in there too. That's a very interesting kill feed. And then they get away with it. And yes, they will be spotting out Adam nicely. 3 alive, not 4 alive, like I said, but still absolutely fine. Chiron finds 4 of those ecos. A bit more confidence for him to add to his bank of confidence. It's a separate bank to your actual bank in the game, of course. The bank of confidence.
Yeah, what would the currency be for confidence? Like, wide swings?
I don't know.
Doesn't really work.
Coinfidence?
Okay, alright, there's not a bad option.
I'm sorry.
Either way, no, that's okay. I mean, I kind of didn't give you much to work with, to be fair. It was always a difficult ask, but 9-6
yeah,
is
how
a
dare
difficult
you?
ask here. I know. Normally we're supposed to work as a team and set each other up nicely, but sometimes you got to throw a curveball, man. Keep each other on our toes. Let's see, BetBoom have actually got a pretty good set of weaponry coming into this next round. They've got the Orp and Zorta, Jaquinho's got his as well. And Jaquinho's been good throughout this match, but on Mirage, he struggled to keep up the same form we've seen from him on Vertigo and Ancient preceding this.
Yeah, they're up against it now. Whether Plopsky is a stand-in or if Metizport are just throwing us a bone by tweeting the way they have about him playing this event. And he actually is going to be their full-time player. We'll see. Does remain to be seen. who Metizport decide to go for.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I suspect it is going to be Plopsky is because why wouldn't they use Susp as a stand-in if they needed a stand-in for these events? A player who's familiar with the team, familiar with the protocols, the role that's required of him. You know, someone who's Adam B's brother. So I think Plopsky is going to be the player that they add to the mix. And I think they're just trying to just throw us, you know, a curveball there, keep us guessing as to what's going to happen. But
we'll see.
I reckon it'll be Plopsky.
We'll see. I think, you know, what's interesting about this sort of decision is that, yeah, I mean, maybe Susp just, once he got benched, was like, okay, well, you don't want me on the team anymore. Why should I play anymore?
I think that's a fair mentality in general, but he's benched, so they're still paying his salary, and he also has a brother in the team who he probably wouldn't want to let down.
That is true.
I'm telling you, man, I've called it. We're part of this game.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm
getting that Fnatic hoodie.
Yeah, there's plenty on the line. There's also lots on the line here for Siren. He's switching between, what, basically 3 separate angles there at once. He doesn't have 3 eyes. That's not going to work for him. Gets taken down, but thankfully, Chiron is again doing some nice work. Magnajez took one in the meantime too. 4 versus 3 for BetBoom. There may be a plant that will come through for Metizport. Well, actually might be quite impactful from Adam, but he shifts forward, and that's when that smoke dissipates toward that market position. So doesn't realise the timing on that one, and Jaquinho, you can't afford to cross that angle, but he still reacts brilliantly. What a catch on Magnajez. He will feel quite lucky to get that kill, I reckon. Nafany and Chiron, 2 versus 2 versus Jaquinho and ZTR. ZTR finds Chiron. It's all down to Nafany. He's got the Tech 9 out, but he shifts into an angle that Jaquinho can see. And Jaquinho has had a slow game. He'll be thanking his lucky stars that little swing past the angle doesn't catch him off guard. Great reaction on the second flick and finishes off the round as well.
Yeah, and you could imagine Metizport just breathing a really big sigh of relief that they're able to get across the line in that round as well, recognizing the magnitude of it. Reducing the gap to 2. Good movements, good decisions being made there as well, good trading. And that puts both teams now in a position where they don't have any money left in the bank. So whoever loses this means that they will have to eco in the next. More of a problem for Metizport than it is for BetBoom, but this one certainly will open up the game. Or close it out, I guess, if you're BetBoom.
Yeah. Big round.
Metizport happy to take their time. Yeah, exactly that. They recognize how important this round is. That's it. Passive default coming through from them. And BetBoom not asking too many questions either. They haven't contested map control. Instead, they've decided to just try and get some forward information ramp. Nafany's posted up there. But it's going to take a long time before anyone's able to rotate across towards that B-bomb site. So it will come down to Magnosius and Siren here over towards the side of the map, and it looks like an execute is imminent. Nafany's a man on a mission, by the way.
Yeah, Mazorta with the AWP, finding Plopsky. ZCR, at least a quick find on Chiron. Magnajez still looking around. He knows there's a player in Connector. Oh my goodness, it's a whiffy one. Actually finds it with the last bullet, I think. But it's still a really important find. Makes it this 3 versus 3.
No.
An underpass. They're about to walk into the mixer. There are 2 players here. Surely they don't expect a second. Surely they do not. And they absolutely do not. But it's still a trade and a chance. Oh my goodness. Siren, I can't believe he's pushed through the molly for that kill. It takes him out, but after he's won the round for his team.
It's actually an insane round there because Metizport was set up to execute in the B-bomb site for a while, and eventually they decide against it. Nafany's committed to the full flank, and then he realizes he might be chasing ghosts. So he decides to then reposition and try and make his way through middle, right? And it's actually the perfect call because then Metizport pivot from apartments through lowers into mid. And Nafany being that second layer of defense is the difference maker. He's able to get those 2 kills. And then I'm thinking, alright, Nilo still stands a pretty good chance in the 1v1. 1v1, and I'm expecting him to even win the 1v1 when Siren's been mollied off, but Siren gets that kill quickly. Either way, still a job to do. We can't dawdle on the pass because Metizport shift themselves in towards B here. BetBoom have rotated a third player across, but the fight's going to be taken on the bomb site itself. They haven't been able to keep the T's in apartments, but it doesn't look like that's going to be a problem. ZTR and Yakinio, they have to find a way to win this because there's no money if they don't, Trav.
Oh, again though, just such good work from Siren. I mean, obviously they they won the previous round with nobody surviving, so of course only a scout in play for Zorta on that round as well. Again, I mean, the money's not going to be great in this following round, but they've got an 11-7 lead now, and Metizport's money isn't great either. What did we say about Siren? I sort of called him out at the beginning of the game saying, listen, this guy is really good. He's such a consistent base rifler for this team. He can be so impactful, and as opposed to, of course, what we saw from them on the previous map, where Magnajez was a bit had disappeared a bit. And there were some performances from Chiron, for example, that were a little bit falling behind. This time they're pretty solid across the board, and it's showing. Great hold from Siren, really, really impactful, and yeah, for Metizport, couldn't break their way through.
I'm right there with you. Siren's been very impressive, and he's normally not the name on the top of people's list when you look at this BetBoom team. But we have to pick an MVP here, and it's actually not an easy task if we're looking at BetBoom. It's got to be the one of three of Zorter, Magnosias, and Siren. And I feel like Siren might edge it out for me, but then again, you know, he put up a good performance on Vertigo, but it wasn't a losing cause, so how much weight does it carry? True.
Honestly, I actually would pick Siren. That would be my pick for sure. Purely because it reinforces what I said before the game even started.
There we go. I mean, fair enough. Can't blame you there. I'd do the same thing if I was in your shoes. It's also just about the impact that Siren's had. You know, Zorta has probably gotten more kills in the series than Siren has. In fact, that's not the case. If you add Mirage's tally to the... Well, hold on. Put that point on ice, because even though this is an eco round for Metizport, it was looking interesting at one point, and as soon as I put it on ice, I can pick it up again. Can I?
There's a chance.
I don't know, man. These guys are just keeping it interesting.
1 versus 2. ZTR pushing forward. Doesn't know there's a player default, or has he seen him? He has now. There goes Nafany. And Zorta, I think ZTR knows exactly where he's coming from. Swing down low, but he's low HP. Oh my word. Did he just get dinked through triple box there? That must be so frustrating for ZTR. Once he hears a dink, he must have thought, oh, he's not dead. What? How have I not killed him? But it was through the box.
That's really unfortunate. It's a great attempt from ZTR, and it's something that they can benefit from if they win this next gun round, because BetBoom have had to rebuy a lot more weapons than they would have liked coming into this next round. Alrighty. 12-7. 5 map and series points here for BetBoom. 5 chances to seal themselves a spot in the semi-final and send Metizport packing. Metizport playing with some confidence here at the start of this next gun round, already committed a couple players in towards middle. They've been able to gain the control, but there might be a reface coming through from BetBoom later on in the round.
1 round needed for BetBoom to make it through to the semi-finals. What we touted is probably one of the best quarterfinals of the bunch has not failed to deliver. Still got Ruby versus 9 Pandas and Endpoint versus Mouse NXT to end the day, of course. Of course, we'll be throwing it over to some casting colleagues for that one, but it's been a great game. 4 versus 5 for BetBoom. An important opening frag by Nilo. Can they close it out here and now? ZTR and Adam creeping toward the apartments. There's a split coming through from short, but Chiron and Siren are very well set for this. A Molotov will go toward Car. It won't go toward the balcony. And this is where the bomb is, of course. That's a great clear from Chiron. Siren, absolutely brilliant. Once again, it's Siren to step up. Zorta finishes off Jaquinho. And that is BetBoom through to the semi-finals.
Normally the problem with Siren's position there is you get spotted by the catwalk players pushing forward, and then it becomes a pretty awkward gunfight at range because the players pushing through apartments